Welcome back on Diorama. Today I want to propose you a video about the unbox review about the book 5, The Shadow of the Crone of the series of the Dawnbringer Crusade. Remember that if you're interested, I made also the previous ones, so book 1, Harbingers, book 2, The Reign of the Brute, the book 3, The Long Hunt, and The Mad King Rise. And we know that it will be released also another one after this, so we'll buy also that one and make also the review about. So now we can simply go to analyze such book, starting from the cover, that it's about Cretusa, the conceal, that we see it's important inside this book, and I quite love such one that it's amazing. Has been also released a specific miniature related that I quite like. So now we can open this and see about the contents. Remember that I'll talk about the background mainly, so if you're interested about the rules, go to see about these ones, eventually buy the book. Remember that soon it will be releasing also the new edition in the summer, so in July about of 2024. Anyway, it's still an amazing book, so if you're interested about such campaign, I still suggest, because anyway it's worth, because you can play anyway, or even simply to read the background, that it's really quite amazing, because I'll talk about the background in this video, but not everything, so I make a sort of summary inside, so pay attention about such a tale. So open this. Here in the back cover you can find this, that it's related about Emberguard, and we'll see in this book, because there are the nighthaunt, and it's really quite amazing. I love such type of design. Here we can see a site about the vicissitudes of the Crusades, more and more bloodied. The wheel turn. In Verdigris, Ghyran, the Crusaders are chased and persecuted by the flesheater curse, and in Emberguard, Aqshy, the disasters are far from ending, gripped by a terror clutches, yes, the nighthaunts. In Aqshy, the curse of the king's blood is difficult to eradicate. Meanwhile, the silhouette of the cover of this book, whom we know being Cretusa, the concealer, starts error machinations. Here we can see the contents and how half of the pages are dedicated to the background, while the other half to the rules. It's also beautiful, the page aside with the image where you can see Cretusa with her own special model and her kinesis battle against the flesheater curse. In Triumph and Tragedy, here is claimed again the actual situation and the challenges those the Crusade are going to fight against, either in Ghyran, in Aqshy, or in Aqshy, and it's introducing the mystical character of Cretusa. It's interesting the talking aside where the Arch Knight talking describe the vicissitude of the Ghyran Crusade and declare its own resolution. Obviously, there is always the call to buy the core book to add the rules to play. In the Seer in the Shadows, here we are in Aqshy. It's fastly described the distress of the city itself and the forces of Khorne besieging the city and the curse of the king's blood spreading from within. Here we find the arrival of Cretusa. We invade the great Khanate shrine of Nagarlai inside the city. Her forces battle against the total arcane linked to Morathi. We discover the rebel nature itself of the Conceer, whom see Morathi not like a goddess, and we find out that there are many Conceer. There is then the fight of Cretusa and Itracha, the queen of the shrine. The box continues with the narration, and we can see Cretusa win the battle and some visions, like prophecies, that we can understand better with this book progressing, but we can yet see some important referrals. In the Threat from Within, in Aqshy, the situation is quite tense. The siege by the followers of Khorne keep busy almost all the forces of the city, while the news about Scaven and moreover cannibalism spreads more and more. The Frigald soldier Armand Callis and the witch hunter agent of the Order of Azir, Haniver Toll, are the ones to note the more and more increasing troubles inside Aqshy. We have known these two characters in the previous books, and now they are an active part. Moreover, after they have captured a city watchman cursed by the king's blood, whom had revealed in his own delusions about a plan to contaminate the Hammer Aqshy water reservoirs, told as to call his friendship with the Hammer of Sigmar, Lord Castellan Valdus, to receive aid to handle such threat. In aid to Callis and Toll are sent the 56th World Corps Regiment that we know better in the box, the Undercrofters. In Cursed Foundation, here we move back at Emberguard. The city has been founded quite far from the original target, but after the exploration of the World Corps, it is discovered the presence of Emberstone and also poor Actracite, the Rimstone of Aqshy. Exploring the galleys of Ashmont around Emberguard, numerous catacombs are discovered, as we've seen previously, and inside the effigies about shaped as will. These discoveries make Zenestra and the members of the Cult of the Will sure of their choices. In the depth of the mountains of Ashmont, the dispossessed who accompanied the crusade, led by Warden King Norfin Grimprint, are sent to explore the deposit of ores, and once arrived in the inners of the chambers, the heart of Ashmont, there is discovered a gigantic chamber, met with a gigantic will that is found out to be a realm gate connected to Shaish. While the realm gate is being analyzed, Nighthaunt led by Recknor the Grimhailer come out from it, killing all the explorers and planning to eradicate the Sigmar servants, burning the Emberstone with the Shaishan magic, and moreover killing the fake prophetess Zenestra and with her the hopes of the Crusaders. In Descent into Depths, here we move back at Emerald Aqshy and find again Callis and Toll, whom led by the Weather Corps adventure into depths of the city, searching for the point where the flesheater cults are planning to corrupt the water resources. Here we can see also a more accurate description of the Weather Corps following the characters. Nice to see also that the group has seen a miniature releasing associated. Finally, they discover the point where the corruption is going to start, and they have to engage the flesheater cults, whom are going to start the plane. The image, really beautiful about the battle, is part of what is described in the fight, really realistic, and it is connected partly to the box where we can see Callis and Toll proceed while the World Corps are trying to stall the flesheater cults. In the face of death, here we move again to Emberguard. We can see the Nighthaunt assaulting the Crusaders, who slowly are decimated. Only the fanatism of the members of the Cult of the Will seem to be able to slow down slightly the eternal advance. The most important part is the box where it sees detailed the match of Recknor versus Zenestra. The challenge see the first needing to retreat cause his arts are not working on the Pontifex. Recknor has his own sword, knowing that soon the etheric fire under Emberguard will finish its work. In Tainted Reservoir, going back to Armor Aqshy, the skirmish against the flesheater cults is more and more against the Sigmarites. Moreover, with the intervention of a zombie dragon, even Toll is going to lose his own life. But here comes the Daughters of Cain led by Cretusa and the Lord Castellan Valdus to eradicate the flesheater. Cretusa herself is the one to save Toll from certain death, and in the box we can see their dialogue, and it will be interesting in the next future to see how Toll will be able to be a chess piece important enough to be saved. In the Turn of the Will, the joy caused the retreat of Recknor is short, soon replaced by the desperation seen Ashmont burning in the eternal fire and Zenestra hit by the backfire of the battle against the Ghost Knight. Immediately the panic spread and there are Crusaders who want to retreat and the cultists of the Will who want to hunt Recknor. Finally, Zenestra regained part of her strength. The Crusaders split. Marshal Yaten Trask is to remain on the site and be bait for the Nighthaunt, while Zenestra and the cultists will advance to the depth of Ashmont to extinguish the fire and hunt Recknor. The cultists and Zenestra move forth to the Realm Gate thanks to lots of sacrifice and indomitable faith. Using ancient magic and unshakable faith, Zenestra is able to extinguish the terror fire and make run away in the Yamagate Reckoner itself, whom swear the eternal vengeance. Zenestra is totally spent. In Trias by Fire and Blood, here we can see the after effects of the events in Aqshy. In Hamera, it is said how Cretusa has been able to convince the council of the city about the Paris, even lifting the curse of King's Blood, not without heavy scars. It is found out also that part of the King's Blood is going to be delivered to the Ghyran Crusade. Cretusa offered her hide to warn Marshal Torian about the tainted cargo through a premonition. Cretusa offered also to go to help the Ghyran Crusade together with her daughters. In Emberguard, the threat is solved. Zenestra is still alive but aging death. She is put on vigil, and her martyrdom make the Crusade think that the fate of the city is linked to her survival. It's also important to watch the map to see the travel made by the Crusader, even if the city was founded, so no other movement has been made. Also, the boxes are important. In the first, we see the undercrofter exploring the subways in the city to find the missing companions. They refer about poison and ice recall the scaven. In the second, we can see how Emberguard, even if reinforced, still send missive to Hamera asking fresh troops. And the third are discovered the few survivor cultists to the final battle against Reckoner and the magic itself of Zenestra. And then we move to Ghyran in Flight and Faithful. Here we can see the runaway of the Crusader from the Summer Cart and the continuation of the Crusade, always pushed by the flesheater cults. The threat is also internal cause part of the Crusaders are affected by the delusions happened along the stop at the Summer Cart. Finally, the Crusade reached Nightwait's Crossing, a strongpoint found in a previous Crusade and supplied through the sea. Here it is due to ask why the Crusaders had not been transported here by sea and used this as a starting point. The Crusaders so make a stop in this strongpoint and resupply themselves, included a special hammer fire rail with a K on it. And if we recall the events in Hamera Aqshy, this is quite probably the King's Blood cargo with Cretusa has said that she would inform Marshal Torian about. It is important also the box aside because it links to events in the book 4 about the wounds of Ushant that he let himself be inflicted and used them to make his own blood through one of the main rivers through the neck to taint it with his own course, using the excuse to heal itself. It is due to remember that the King's blood is the blood of Shoran. In Dark Whisperers, the Crusaders march on with the goal to raise a new city near the Realm Gate, Gilnarad's Gate. They leave a detachment led by Martian Valdus in Nightwait's Crossing to help them stopping the flesheater cults whom are pursuing them. While they march to the Realm Gate, the Crusaders are intercepted by the Wraithing Tongu, a group of hedonists who had nested the Realm Gate and want to ransack the King's Blood smelled in possession of the Crusaders. The hedonists want to offer the King's Blood to their own lord, so after the ambush using a violet mist, they are able to steal the King's Blood before being repelled by Marshal Torian and the Crusaders. The box is quite having a lot of information, cause Nightwind Crossing is plagued by violence, which we know associated to delusions. It is found out that the river is corrupted by something that causes some violence peaks, and we know this being the blood of Shoran who is betting. The commander on the straw points, Nightwhite, decided to use the potable liquids of the city, cause the Crusaders brought with them the Aqualite. Casually, it's the King's Blood, the resource. Moreover, Nightwhite proposed to renew the dam on the Vori River to be able to use it again cause the polluting of the river itself, using only the militia of the citadel. The most important revelation is that Nightwhite sneakily goes to meet an emissary of the flesheater cults, Varden Glimlock, herald of the Summer Cart, to destroy the Crusaders who invaded the territory of the Summer King. It is revealed so that the strongpoint serve not Sigmar but Shoran. In ill tidings, everything finally proceeds fine. Around the Iron Gate, Gilnarad's Gate, the city is founded, Verdigris, and the work in Nightwait's Crossing are progressing. But at Nightwait Crossing, more and more Crusaders are acting with violence. Submartian Vandais is happy about Nightwait working, even if the gloomy perception he have from the citizens leave him quite unsettled. The illuminated senescal ornament of Idrigan Temple meet secretly Submartian Vandais and give him information about Nightwait being a follower of Busharn, and that the dam is a way to spread the tainted waters of the Voril River, connecting to it to the Witherflow River, and so bring the same corrosion to the new city Verdigris. Vandais move immediately to confront Nightwait and verify the words of the elf. The Illuminate use Vandais as a means to distract the flesheaters, and is going to move to infiltrate and to search for the source of the river, corruption of the Voril River, and purify it with a ritual. In the box, we can see that at Verdigris everything is quite wobbling, caused the continuous assault not by the flesheater Kurz, but by Nargol worshippers and greenskins, causing a violent reaction by Marshal Torion. In Betrayal and Bloodshed, Submartian Vandais goes to the Voril Dam to confront Nightwait and arrest him. His doubts increase more and more till he sees how much craftiness has been used to repair the dam, corpses in the foundations. Nightwait laughs at the accusations by Vandais, while the flesheater warden Grimlock arrive. Nightwait toss down the dam Vandais, whom is saved by a winged figure. Ketusa seems to have a passion to rescue on the fly those do fall. In desperate times, Ketusa brings Vandais to Verdigris and use him as a witness about the situation of the Voril River. Marshal Torian decides to intervene and bring part of the Crusaders to march on to destroy the dam and avoid the plan of the flesheater, only to find herself in front of an enormous army of flesheaters themselves. So, Ketrusa has brought hand, but about sending a premonition and tell Marshal Torian about the King's blood that the Crusaders still have with them? In the Corpse Dam, Crusaders and Canites battle against the flesheater Kurz horde, while the cannons barrage uselessly against the dam. Ketusa fight against Warden Glimlock, finally kill him after a strenuous aerial match. After the death of the Warden Flesheater, an explosion damaged the dam. Crusaders and elves immediately followed the order of Marshal Torian to make for high ground. The waters of the river trample on the Flesheater Kurz and some late Dawnbringers. In the box, we can see that the death of Warden Glimlock free Nightwait from the delusion he was afflicted by, and he recognized what he has done. The explosion that destroyed the dam is the sacrifice of Nightwait to try to redeem his action with a noble act, using the explosives brought to repair the dam to destroy it and immolate itself. If the image that you see seem familiar, it is. It's the same used as the cover for the 3rd edition Battleton of the Flesheater Kurz. It was associated to another vampire. In Beyond the Neck, here we can find out more about Verdigris. The escape of the Crusaders from the Samarkand and the successive events are a plan formulated by Usharan to spread the curse that has entered in the bloodstream of the Dawnbringers. The shattering of the dam has also brought the destruction of Nightwait's Crossing, caused the floods generated. Verdigris is assaulted constantly by the green environment and the greenskins, and it is found out that something on the west is making everything scourged of life and is drawing closer. The map is useful to understand the march of the expedition and the final site of Verdigris. Also, the small boxes are important. The first to note how the Luminate led by Senescal Ornat are sealing up the river Voril to purify it, and maybe part of the floods thus destroy Nightwait's Crossing are not related only to the destroying of the dam. In the second, we see the Oruks celebrate the new neighbors to play with. In the third, we know about more about the background related to specific cavaliers of the Crusaders. In Realms in Turmoil, here we can see the situations in the realms. In Ghyran, the Hammer Council is conscious about something chaotic coming from the west, and we know yet being Abraxia, Lieutenant of Arkham and the Swords of Chaos. They are advancing and destroying settlements along it. King Brad settled in the ruins of the Fort Cardus and battled against the vindictive Drika. We discover that the Illuminate are sending warriors to purify rivers and not only about Voril River, and that the flooding cities and settlements doing it is in their comparison some minor sacrifice. Important also the box in which we can see the Skaven developing a plan related about different realms, and remember that the 4th edition will be centered on them. Here on the left we have a missive of Toll that described the successful elimination of the threat of the corrupted reservoirs. Then he analyzed the relationship with Cretusa and a possible schism in the inners of the Knights. He suggests a courteous collaboration. Ending, he notes an increasing activity of the Skaven, more and more bold, not only at Emerald, but also other cities, inciting an investigation. On the right, we see Morati talking with the Shadow counterpart about Cretusa and her betrayal, and how to make use of it. Here we can see the background about Cretusa, whom we could call a bullied nerd, afflicted by visions of a forgotten divinity, until Morati herself raised to godhood, freeing shards of elven gods whom has been devoured by Slanesh. Here we can understand better the background of various characters whom had Amara Aqshy disposed of the flesheater plan and whom Jivu released the models with this tome. Here we can see the conclusion of the background of the tome. At Aqshy, Emberguard is going reinforced and reargate to Shaish fortified. Zanestra is still on edge between life and death, but the continuous earthquakes and skittering announced the arrival of the Skaven with the new edition. At Ghyran, we have Cretusa healing the cursed by the King's blood and warning Marshal Toria about a new darkness approaching across the neck and smash against the walls of the city. We yet know being Abraxia and the Sword of Chaos in the next volume. Then we can flip. Here we can see some representation of the background that we have seen before by the miniatures, and I quite like. It's pity that there are only these strips, usually there are more. Here we can see the models. Here there is the Cretusa, the Consigliere, that sincerely I really like. I not bought it only simply because there are other things inside that I'm not quite interested about, but the model is simply amazing, I really like. Then you can see here that we have Callis and Toll with the group of the miniatures selected of the Welder Corps, so quite nice. Here we have the one that is Lord Castellan Valdus, so it's really quite intriguing and quite nice. Then we have this that it's about the Reckoner that it's going against the cult of the Will with the Nestra, so quite amazing. I love such dioramas. And here we can find about the rules here with the Conquest, that it's about using these in the way that we can play with the strongholds, and we have also the strong points and so on. So it's really quite interesting because there are these ways to use the Shining Future and so on, so it's a good way also to use some things that you have yet maybe in your collection, or you can create something similar, so quite nice. Here we have also the Realmscape Oddities, and here we have this that it's about battling with the strong points, and I quite like this. We have also about Depth to Glory rules in this way. Usually I don't play with it, but it's a good way. It's anyway a campaign, so it's a good thing to adapt eventually in the future so on. So quite nice, because it can make you really understand how to develop eventually something similar. We have also the battle plans related about Path to Glory with these strong points. So really quite simple ones, but quite intriguing, and you can adapt anyway to normal game. So it's just simply to try something, but it's quite nice. Here you can find this, that it's the background about the cult of the Consigliere and a better understanding about Ketusa. Here we have the rules about Ketusa the Concealed, that it's in a way quite nice. And here we have about creating an army related about Ketusa the Concealed, and so creating something, and I quite like, sincerely, it's something particularly intriguing. Also here we have this, that it's about Canis and Those and the Those companions, so it's something that it's worth to see. Eventually you can use or so on, but it's a good way to understand better the rules. And here we have the match play with the rules about playing with the strong point. So here there is something that could be really quite interesting. I don't think that I play with this, maybe this case I'll bypass this, but they are really quite nice because it's a different way to play with such type of rules that can be really quite intriguing, and give you also quite a lot of things, give you the core battalions, new grand strategies, battle tactics eventually. So it's a good addition, in my opinion. And also here we have about playing the events, to create a sort of narrative inside the events, also with the battle plans. And here it's really quite interesting because these are yet prepared to be played with in matches, so it's not something that you have to adapt, and it's nice, it's a good way to do. Here we have about the points, and remember that this can be changed and so on, and soon there will be also the release about the new edition, so they will not last quite long, but it's in a way a good way if you want to try them, so nice. Here the backcover that we have seen at the beginning, and here there is the code that you can use for the Warhammer in the way that you can download, and with this code you can access it with the app of Age of Sigmar to play with the rules without having any problems, so quite nice. And here we have the back, and here we can see that it's with Ketusa that dominate. Okay, anyway, what to say about such book? I think that it's not bad at all, maybe not the best, but here it gives you more than the idea about pressure and so on. It gives you the idea about fastness, really something that make you really anxious about. It's like something continues to make you continue blocked and so on, and it's really quite nice because it's a bit accelerating and changed about the theme, but at the same time you can see that it's developing in some way. So anyway, it's a good book. Maybe not my favorite about all the books released for now, but sincerely it's quite worth, in my opinion, quite nice. There are some things that maybe I would have wanted even more, because the background, if it would have been developed even more, I would have been glad. But there are really quite a lot of things and a lot of connection, because these connect a lot about the previous books that you can see. So it's a really good one, remember about this. And anyway, the rules are useful, even if they are maybe not lasting long. These anyway let you have creating an atmosphere that you can reproduce then. So it's anyway quite nice. So, from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So, I hope to see you again to the next time.